New this morning, a shooting last night has 2 victims in the hospital. We have their conditions ahead. And if you want to give money to a charity this holiday season, be careful and also be on the lookout for scammers. That's coming up right now on 13 News This Morning.
Live, local, experienced. This is 13 News This Morning, Kansas News Leader.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome into 13 News This Morning. Happy Friday. I'm Raina Flores alongside Jared Broyles and Doug Myers. Well, we are just getting into the holiday spirit here on 13 News. Love it.
Absolutely, yes.
Love it. Okay, Doug, so with the holidays comes cold weather. Yesterday, walking out.
Well, here it does, right? Like maybe not in Miami, but it definitely does here in Kansas.
Yeah,
Do we need to move to Miami to get some decent weather? I'm not sure. But yesterday, walking out, it was pretty cold. This morning wasn't as bad, but what can we expect? Because we still have high school football going on as well.
Yeah, we have a seasonal day expected for today as temperatures are starting off in the 20s. We'll end up in the 40s for the area. 27 in Topeka. We do have a few clouds, but generally still mostly clear, so have those sunglasses ready to go for the morning commute. You may not necessarily need them for the evening commute if you're going to be out before sunset. Otherwise, temperatures in the mid to upper 20s for most, low 20s down near I-35, and many spots are in the teens for wind chill values. 16 in Manhattan and Hiawatha, 18 in Clay Center, 20 in Topeka, and 15 degrees in Emporia. We are generally mostly clear on Capitol Federal Live Storm Tracker, but clouds will be on the increase later on this morning through the rest of the afternoon, and so that'll set us up with generally partly to mostly cloudy skies for the afternoon hours, and temperatures warming up to 28 at 9 o'clock, 43 at noon, and 46 for the high today. About 10 to 15 degrees warmer compared to yesterday, and winds out of the southwest shifting to the west at about 5 to 15 miles per hour with a wind gust that could be approaching 20 miles per hour throughout the day today. We'll take a look at slightly cooler day, but still near seasonal tomorrow, but big changes with a big cool down on Sunday. We'll talk about and if there's any precipitation that comes with the cold front this weekend coming up.
Thanks, Doug. New this morning, 2 people have been shot overnight. Topeka Police Watch Commander confirmed 2 people were shot last night and are in life-threatening condition and were both taken to the hospital. The call came in around 11:30 on reports of gunshots in the 2000 block of Southwest Terra and Place Avenue in the capital city. 13 News did have a crew out earlier this morning, but no information was released.
The man charged in the killing of a priest in Seneca, Kansas, will be sent for further mental evaluation. Gary Hermish is charged with first-degree murder for the shooting death of Father Arul Carasala back in April. Hermish's defense team requested an evaluation to determine if he's fit to stand trial. The judge reviewed the evaluation at a hearing yesterday. He then ordered further evaluation, which could be delayed for months due to a lack of available space at Larned State Hospital. In other news this morning, Manhattan organizations have teamed up to assess the area's homeless population and have now released findings they've gathered since this summer. The Riley County Police Department meets with community organizations on a monthly basis to keep up on efforts to help residents from falling into the same situation. That task force released its findings since summer in a report yesterday. You first heard about this on 13 News this morning in an interview with Director Brian Peet. Now, one of the more notable takeaways, they say, is an increase in reported disruptions, especially those by people from outside the city.
We have seen there is an increase in folks coming into our community, and there's more need that's going around.
We have people that are coming from communities that have no services, and Manhattan is the closest hub for services, so we're seeing people coming from out of the community trying to make a new life and a new start here.
The report also suggests 2026 may see the homeless population increase due to economic factors.
The Kansas Judicial Branch is rolling out a new way to search court records. Case Search will replace the current court portal, offering more search options and detailed information. The previous page has been taken down and will redirect you to the new portal. But Case Search will be offline between today and next Monday while a statewide update is conducted this weekend. A bit of clarity, but lingering questions this morning after members of Congress were briefed on that controversial second military strike on a suspected drug boat near Venezuela.
Lawmakers are scrutinizing the role of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth in the attack, which was ordered by a Navy admiral who spoke to lawmakers yesterday. Jared Hill reports from New York.
Peppered with questions on Capitol Hill.
Do you accept responsibility for the incident, sir?
U.S. Navy Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley told lawmakers behind closed doors that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth did not issue an order to kill them all, as reported in the Washington Post, regarding this military strike on an alleged drug boat. But after watching for the first time the controversial second hit, Democrats held on to concerns.
What I saw in that room was one of the most troubling things I've seen in my time in public service. You have two individuals in clear distress, without any means of locomotion, with a destroyed vessel, who were killed by the United States.
Two survivors shipwrecked after the first strike were killed in the second, prompting questions about whether that attack was legal. Some Republicans argue it was justified.
I saw two survivors trying to flip a boat loaded with drugs bound for the United States back over so they could stay in the fight. And potentially, given all the context we heard, of other narco-terrorist boats in the area coming to their aid.
Amid growing questions surrounding the mission and Hegseth's role in it, earlier this week, the defense secretary said he witnessed the first strike but left the room before the second one.
Admiral Bradley made the correct decision to ultimately sink the boat and eliminate the threat.
Democrats are now pushing for Admiral Bradley to testify publicly. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The Pentagon hasn't said whether that would happen voluntarily. There's also no indication yet whether the Pentagon will release more of the video to the public. This comes as the U.S. military hit another alleged drug boat this week, bringing the total number killed to at least 87.
In other news this morning, the holiday season brings out the generosity in all of us, but also brings out scammers looking to exploit that. The Better Business Bureau tells us Kansans filed more than 900 scam reports just this year. The BBB says the last 3 months of the year bring an uptick in scams, mostly thanks to victims of fraudulent charities. That's not even counting those who don't report their experience, which can hurt preventative measures down the road.
Anytime anything is reported about scam or fraud prevention, it is a minimal amount relative to the actuality of the situation. And on a consumer protection front, I think that means we've got a lot of work to do in terms of making it as simple as possible for people to report their experience.
You should pay close attention to any charity that demands your attention and your time urgently. We do have links to both give.org and Scam Tracker on WIBW.com. Jared?
All right, thank you, Raina. Now let's take a look at some stories making medical headlines this Friday. People exposed to air pollution face a higher risk of severe heart disease. A University of Toronto study found that even levels of pollution that are below regulatory standards are linked to heart disease. Air pollution is one of the biggest environmental risks to health and contributed to an estimated 2.4 million cardiovascular deaths in 2021. Overall trust in scientists remains high in the U.S., but varies greatly depending on a person's political beliefs. A National Cancer Institute study found that 86% of Americans have a high level of trust in scientists as a source of cancer information. However, among conservatives, only 70% said they trust scientists, while among liberals, the number was 93%. Could a good marriage keep you from putting on weight? New research by UCLA Health found that people with strong social relationships, especially in good marriages, had enhanced activity in the part of the brain that manages cravings and appetite. As a result, people with more emotional support from others tend to have a lower body mass index and had fewer food addiction behaviors. Could explain why I've packed on a few pounds.
We're welcoming more kids into our 13 News this morning.
And seniors over the age of 55 are hitting the runway. We'll take a look at these fashionistas. But first, here's Doug with your first alert forecast.
All right, more seasonal afternoon expected as they're heading back home from work or school this afternoon. It'll be about 42 for the wind chill at 3, but all the way down to 32 degrees by 7 p.m. We'll take a look at that full forecast, which includes a cold front this weekend. We'll talk about the timing and what impacts that front will have coming up after the break.
This is 13 News First Alert Weather.
All right, it's a chilly start this morning, but nothing as bad as yesterday morning. 27 right now in Concordia with temperatures all in the 20s at this hour. A little bit colder down to the south in the low 20s down near I-35, and generally about 6 to 7 degrees warmer down there. Meanwhile, everywhere else it's about 10 to 20 degrees warmer along in north of I-70. So a big change from what we had yesterday, where it was very frigid yesterday with wind chills in the teens for much of the area early this morning. 20 in Topeka right now, and temperatures are because of these winds. South at 5 to 10 miles per hour, even in the 10 to 15 mile per hour range in Marysville and Concordia. And that's about what we're going to have over these next 3 days. Generally 5 to 15 mile per hour winds are expected, but with different directions over these next 3 days. We'll generally be out of the southwest today. The winds will continue to shift as we head into tonight and eventually shift back to the southeast by tomorrow, still at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then a northerly wind on Sunday behind a front that pushes through Saturday night into Sunday morning. So we'll have a little bit of a different wind direction each day, but the speeds should be about the same at about 5 to 15, gusts near 20 to 25 miles per hour. Meanwhile, temperature-wise, mid to upper 40s today, a few low 40s in extreme northeast Kansas. Otherwise, heading into tomorrow for Saturday, much of the same in extreme northeast Kansas, stuck in the low 40s, but further to the southwest you go, there is a chance that some of our western and southern communities may even reach 50. It is going to depend on how quickly clouds increase for tomorrow. There is a chance that we might be able to sneak in a little bit of sun, but I think clouds increase a little bit quicker than what the clouds will be increasing for today will be. And then for Sunday, upper 20s and low 30s. Most areas will be slightly below freezing for the high on Sunday. And it's also very possible that as the colder air moves in, we reach those high temperatures around midday and then gradually cooling down throughout the afternoon. It won't be a drastic cool down through the afternoon, but by a couple degrees throughout the midday to sunset time frame. Satellite radar composite shows most of the precipitation in the southeastern section of the U.S. A little bit of snow activity up to the north, but nothing too widespread. And as far as any possible precipitation is concerned for our area, none of that for today, despite an increase in cloud cover this afternoon. Partly cloudy skies tonight with some passing clouds at times. And here's a look at that sunshine tomorrow morning in our western and southern communities, but clouds on the increase quickly throughout the morning, giving us cloudy skies for the afternoon. Most of the precipitation, including snow, stays up to our north. Very low probability. If we do get anything, especially before sunset, it would be in the form of rain. If anything comes in after sunset and would likely be before midnight, we might get a little bit of a rain-snow mix. So that's where we are keeping it in the 8-day for now, but I would not be surprised if we'd stay completely dry like Supercast is indicating, and the cloud cover continues to stick around for Sunday. Heading back to work or school Monday will be a bit on the cold side, down in the teens, which means wind chills could be close to, if not in the single digits, warming up in the low 40s by the afternoon. And then we get in the 50s on Tuesday before gradually cooling down for the rest of the week.
All right, thanks, Doug.
It is now time for a 13 News This Morning Birthday Club, and we only have one today. That is going to Jackson, turning 9 years old today. Happy birthday to you, Jackson.
Oh, we love it. Happy birthday.
If you have a child turning 13 or under with a birthday coming up, please upload their photo to our website, wibw.com/thismorning, and get it in 2 weeks before their special day. K-State football made it official last night. Legendary quarterback Colin Klein is coming home to be the Wildcats' next head football coach.
Up next in sports, we've got everything you need to know ahead of today's introduction in the Little Apple. 13 Sports is back on the other side of this break. Come on back, y'all. If you want to see your outdoor picture on 13 News This Morning, don't forget to submit your own hunting, fishing, and nature photos to the Bragging Wall on the Morning Show page, wibw.com/thismorning.
This is 13 Sports.
Colin Klein is coming home today. K-State announced last night that it's hiring the legendary quarterback turned offensive play caller as the 36th head football coach in program history. The news comes after a Thursday full of Wildcat fans waiting for pen to be put to paper. Klein and his family are arriving in Manhattan just before 11 a.m. today. Then he'll be introduced to the public at 4 p.m. at Morgan Family Arena. This is all coming together so quickly because Klein is still coaching at Texas A&M too. He's the Aggies offensive coordinator. But once their playoff run comes to an end, Klein will return to Manhattan and assume his new role as head football coach. Let's be clear, Klein has been the Wildcats guy. No other names were considered, and there was a lot that athletic director Gene Taylor couldn't say yesterday for legal reasons. But what he did say is that it'll be his job to set up whoever that next head coach is for success.
I'm going to ask the question, what do you think you need? What are some things you're going to need to be successful in today's, era? And that's the conversation I'll have with that candidate or those candidates and say, tell me what you think you need. And my guess is a lot of the things that they think they're going to need, we already have in place. And then from there, it's just, once we make that decision on that coach, help them put together that staff and the things they need. But
if there's any sort of a catch to all of this, it's what I'm about to tell you. K-State was set to play in a bowl game in the coming weeks, but now that Chris Klieman is retiring and Colin Klein is expected to bring in basically a whole new staff, there may not be anyone around to coach a potential bowl game. Multiple outlets did report on Thursday, though, that the Wildcats have not reached a final decision on whether or not they'll accept a bowl invitation. Before the news of the hire broke on Thursday night, a handful of K-State players were already reported to be entering the transfer portal. Of those names, the most notable of the bunch are safety Quay Moss, who's arguably the Wildcats' top impact addition on defense this past season, and tight end Braden Lofton, who caught 2 touchdowns in 2 seasons in the Little Apple. Back to the good stuff, though. If you at home aren't a K-State fan and you're maybe wondering why everyone who is a K-State fan has nothing but great things to say about this hire, here's why. Klein is the first alum to be hired as the Wildcats head football coach in 50 years. He's won Big 12 championships both as a quarterback and as a coordinator. Klein coached a pair of consensus All-Americans as K-State's offensive coordinator in 2022 and 2023 before taking that same job at Texas A&M, where he's helped lead the Aggies to an 11-1 record this season. They've put up over 400 yards of offense 10 times. We'll have full coverage of today's introductory press conference up in Manhattan. You can also head to our 13 Sports page online for more on Colin Klein coming home to K-State. That's it for Morning Sports.
Yes, ma'am.
This isn't your typical senior activity.
Singers on the runway. Turn down for what?
Singers on the Runway brings together people ages 55 and up to step out as models.
Anything that you do in your day, you should strut.
This is Carrie Tutt Hamilton.
Head down. You have to walk with what? Confidence.
She started the group in 2006.
I want them to come and see that in their golden years, they don't have to rock chairs, they can rock runways.
Today's group is a bit smaller, but Hamilton usually works with over 400 seniors, helping them improve their modeling techniques and their self-esteem.
It uplift you and keep you from being depressed.
Okay.
Lisa Edwards has been modeling here for over 10 years, a decision she says changed her life.
I want to show the confidence, the wisdom, the stature, everything that comes with my journey to where I am right now.
Every step has led these seniors to this stage. And if you still think they're too old to walk the runway,
I don't know what you've been told. I don't know what you've been told.
we're living the life. We're living the life.
Ain't nobody out here.
They say age is just a number. And here, it's proof. There's always time to follow your dreams. Donald Fountain, CBS News, Atlanta.
This is 13 News First Alert Weather.
All right, increasing clouds later on this morning into the afternoon, but temperatures will be about 10 to 15 degrees warmer compared to yesterday. So a more seasonal day, 46 degrees. Southwest wind shifted to the west, gusting around 20 miles per hour. Tonight, a few passing clouds from time to time, 25 the overnight low with the light to calm wind. And tomorrow we'll have increasing clouds a little bit quicker for those that do have some early morning sun. Some areas may not. Some areas may be completely cloudy all day. A little bit cooler, 43, southeast wind 5 to 15 miles per hour. We've also been talking about a storm system over the weekend that brings a little bit of a rain-snow mix to the area Saturday night. I'm still keeping that rain-snow mix in just in case, but I really think that most of it will stay up to our north. If we do get anything, it would be some sprinkles if it occurs early enough and warm enough, or a few flurries. But as far as any accumulation or impacts, I'm not expecting that to be the case. Otherwise, heading into Saturday evening, of course, Topeka, downtown, Miracle and Kansas Avenue Parade will be at about 39 degrees by 6 p.m. with a southeast wind around 5 miles per hour. Much colder on Sunday, though, where temperatures will be more in the upper 20s and low 30s. Many spots staying below the freezing mark through the entire day. And unfortunately, there's not going to be much sun. We'll have wind gusts near 20, maybe even 25 miles per hour, which will keep those wind chills down in the teens and 20s all day. Meanwhile, heading out to the Chiefs game of Sunday evening, 7:20 against the Texans, 24 at kickoff, and not much of a cooling trend throughout the game. Will be about 22 degrees by the fourth quarter, and winds should be light by the game time, even if winds are a little bit stronger if you're going to be out tailgating in the afternoon. We'll start off in the teens with a potentially single-digit wind chills Monday morning as you're heading off to work or school. Back up near 40 on Monday afternoon, and then here we go. Look at 50s on Tuesday, but it does look to cool down for the second half of the work week. I will mention that computer models do disagree on when it cools down and the extent of the cool down, so don't be surprised if there are some minor changes to the forecast, especially during that Wednesday, Thursday, maybe even Friday time period over these next couple of days. 6:27, we'll be back after this.
You're watching 13 News This Morning.
Welcome back into 13 News This Morning. Time is now 6:49. Let's see what's trending. Okay, I'm so excited about this story.
Okay, yeah, what do we got?
Well, a brazen raccoon intruder broke into a liquor store and ransacked the bottom shelf of Scotch and whiskey in Virginia recently. An employee found the nocturnal animal passed out on the bathroom floor early in the morning. This sounds like a frat story.
I know.
After also finding smashed bottles and pools of alcohol on the floor, the Hanover the Hanover County Animal Protection and Shelter. Shouldn't that be hangover? But it's Hanover. Responded to the unusual call saying, quote, after a few hours of sleep and zero signs of injury, thankfully, other than maybe a hangover there in Hanover County and poor life choices, he was safely released back into the wild, hopefully having learned that breaking and entering is not the answer.
You know, at least he made it to the bathroom, because most people don't.
Okay, look at him. Look at him.
He knew what to do.
Passed out, face down.
By the trash can.
By the trash
and the
can.
Toilet. Yes.
And the toilet.
He couldn't decide which one.
Just in case. I'm glad he's okay, though. That was the first thing. We were laughing yesterday, but you want to make sure the animal's okay.
Yeah, because he fell from there.
Oh, boy.
God, look at that.
He went through the expensive stuff, because whiskey's pricey.
It had to have been the smell and the taste, because I'm like, there's no way he's that thirsty, right?
Oh my God, how funny is this?
Here's the thing, you kind of want to know which one was his favorite, because he could be like the next spokesperson.
Well, he probably drank everything all at once, and he just got a bad taste.
I wonder if it went down smoothly. See, it's like sippers for me, but for him, he's like, let's just do it all.
I think we should name him, Jack Daniels or Jose Cuervo. Like, he should have a name, right?
Okay, that's tequila, so we'll save that one for another animal who gets into tequila.
There you go.
Jack Daniels, there you go.
Oh,
got the whiskey. I love that. It's so funny. But like you said, glad he's okay. I just think it's funny that he made it to the bathroom.
Of all places, that's where he ends up, right?
Find it, too.
Exactly. I thought that was
It's probably because the floor was cool and he was feeling a little sick probably at that point.
I'm sorry, that was funny.
Hey, share your favorite trending stories with us by using the social media hashtag WIBW, and be sure to drink responsibly this season.
Stick around for more of the top stories of the morning.
And we'll take a look at your forecast after the break.
It's now 6:57. Time now for the stories you need to know and your out-the-door forecast.
News this morning, 3 people have been shot last night. Topeka Police Watch Commander confirmed 2 males are in critical condition at a hospital in the capital city. The call came in around 11:30 p.m. and reported gunshots in the 2000 block of Southwest Terran Place Avenue in Topeka. And then at about 2 a.m., a 3rd male victim showed up to a Lawrence hospital by personal vehicle. He is in stable condition. All 3 victims are believed to be involved in the same incident. The investigation is ongoing.
Manhattan organizations have teamed up to assess the area's homeless population and the growing crisis. The Riley County Police Department meets with community organizations on a monthly basis to keep up on efforts to help residents from falling into the same situation. One of the more notable takeaways, they say, is an increase in reported disruptions, especially by people moving into the city from other parts of the country. It's now 6:58. Time for your out-the-door forecast with Doug.
Well, temperatures are mostly in the 20s at this hour, so a big improvement from the teens and even a few single digits of yesterday morning. But we still have several areas in the teens for wind chill values, so still want to make sure that you're bundled up early this morning. Have the sunglasses too, but clouds will be on the increase throughout the morning and early afternoon hours, and that will lead to mostly cloudy skies shortly before sunset for most areas. 46 for today's high, so more seasonal, about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than yesterday. South wind gusting near 20 miles per hour. A little bit cooler, but still likely in the 40s tomorrow for most areas. And then we get more noticeable cool down on Sunday. Many spots struggling to reach the freezing mark with cloudy skies and then warming back up into early next week. That rain snow mix Saturday night, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. I could probably easily taken it out, but just something we're going to continue to keep an eye on, with most of it staying up to our north in Nebraska and Iowa.
All right, go ahead. Head over there, Doug. Take it out.
Yes.
Raina and I want it out. We're just going to pretend.
Okay.
I know you like to be safe and say it's a possibility, just not that likely.
And a quick reminder, tomorrow is the Miracle on Kansas Avenue Parade in downtown Topeka at 6 p.m. Jared and I will be there, so come see us and come say hi.
And there's events that start at 4:30, so be sure and head down for those as well.
We're excited. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports at WIBW.com. Thank you for watching 13 News, the Kansas Association of Broadcasters' best morning newscast.